Can you tell us more about how you discovered your passion? I mean, you have the gift of gab. You know, you have a way with words. You're an amazing writer, amazing speaker, amazing orator, an amazing speechwriter, and you help women find their voice and spread their message. Did you always know that you had this is your gift, that you're meant to share with the world? How did you discover it?
Wow, I did not know. I did not know, although I have always loved speaking. I mean, as I mentioned, I grew up in a home where that was kind of the thing, and so I knew that I had that gift. I knew that I had that gift, and I have had this gift of being able to pull a room into intimacy with me. I've known that since I was young. I never really got that was actually valuable, though. And I think that when I really began to know that I had a gift, especially for supporting women and bringing out that thing that they must say and how to create art out of it. Right. I'm a spoken word artist, and I began doing a bunch of spoken word art in San Francisco. I had a performance art group, and I began really getting out there with my spoken word art, and it was very much centered around the importance of getting our voices out there and the importance of how to really give a voice to the feminine during this time in our world. And women began to come to me and say, "Can you help me?" And it was such an organic thing. And I remember a woman coming to me and saying, I have a vision for an organization that she wanted to found, and she wanted to put on a big event, and she wanted to give a speech at it, but enormous self-doubt and fear was holding her back. And I ended up working with her and worked with her on writing her speech. And there was a joy. I will never forget waking up the next morning after going to that event and just witnessing her completely rock it in this big, full room of all these other women and declaring her message and what she believes in her mission.
She came into her own.
She came into her own.
To do that.
And it was like watching this flower blossom right before my very eyes on that stage. And the feeling that I had the next day was so profound of the sense of fulfillment and happiness.
Yeah.
And I just knew that I needed to keep doing that. And I didn't even put any words out there. People just started coming to me, and it just started to grow very organically. You know, when they'd say, "Oh my gosh, I heard this woman out there and speak, can you work with me?" And it just started to really take shape.
Wow.
Yeah. And then it started to really, get to the fulfillment of working with women who are speaking on some major platforms like TED and TEDx stages and that kind of thing.
Which you've also done.
And so it's been incredibly fulfilling to work with women who are both just emerging in their work and just getting out there, and women who are already more established but are really wanting to just refine their way of giving with their voice in the world. And it's been an amazing thing. I could never have imagined. It wasn't like I was 19 years old and was like, gosh, I want to work with women and getting their messages out in the world.
So there was never I always imagined it to be like this for me. It hasn't happened yet, but the light bulb goes off and you're like, aha, this is it. It just came to me. This is what I'm meant to do. It was never like that. Did it take you time? It just kind of came together.
It's a feeling thing, and the feeling that I have in doing this work and the joy that I feel in supporting a woman getting out on stage is so intense. It's my true north.
Yes, you talk a lot about finding your true north.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain exactly what that is and how women can go about finding it for themselves?
Your true north. Well, in this case in which I'm talking about it, the true north for me is my joy is my true north. I am most devoted to my joy in my life. I will move mountains and destroy elements of my life if something is impinging on the purity of the expression of my joy. And I feel that for me that feeling inside has been the thing that I have known that is my deepest sense of truth. Now, when I work with women in writing their talks, I mention this concept of finding your true north because a talk is a gift, and it's this thing that you give out into the world with your words and your ideas that have the ability to impact people. But when that talk is not clear on what that gift is, it is limited in its impact.
Definitely.
So when women come to me to work in writing their talks, the first question I always ask them is, when that audience leaves, what is it that you want them to take away? If they could just take away one thing, one idea, one thing that they can remember, what is it?
Right.
And whatever that is really the gift of your talk. That's the diamond insight of it.
Yeah.
And then we can structure your entire talk, your entire message around delivering that in a way that's entertaining and easy for them to remember and even to pass on to others. And it's super clarifying, in terms of the writing process.
Wow. So you found it for yourself, and you also bring it out in the speeches, and you help women define it for themselves. Find their voice and really define it, and then spread the message.
Yes, yes.